What's up, everybody? This is Lance. I'm the host for the Health and Real Estate Podcast, and I have a very special guest today, my dear friend Lauren. We met at a vegan wellness retreat. So why don't we just take it from there? Tell us about the vegan wellness retreat.
Hi, everyone. Yes, Lance and Lauren. Quite a duo.
Fire signs.
Yeah, fire signs. We figured that out pretty quickly. The wellness retreat that we had was sponsored by Leaf Over Beef, and it was really cool because it was really focused on healthy, delicious food and then movement, which was great. Mm-hmm. So we would wake up in the morning and do some yoga, finish at that, and then we would have like a really delicious breakfast. I don't know about you, but I might say that the breakfasts were the best part.
It was all the best.
They're all so good. The meals were outstanding, if I do say so myself. Naz and I were just, whipping up stuff in the kitchen. We did a hike that was really fun.
Hikes.
Yeah, multiple hikes. And, we just made a lot of friends. It was great.
What inspired that, the vegan wellness retreat? Because I've been in LA like 4 years, and I haven't seen one. Right outside of the LA area. So what kind of inspired that?
You know, we had felt like that was the same thing. We wanted something like that. And there's a lot of yoga retreats. Mm-hmm. A lot of those, though, we felt like were a bit unattainable for some folks. Like, it depends on where your walk of life is. And not to say that those facilitators don't deserve something. I'm not sure what it takes to put in that much time and that much effort, and a lot of these are destination places. So we wanted to find a place that was close enough to LA that was also serene and just out there in nature. We could really feel like you could unplug, and that's what we did. We found Running Springs, which is a cute little town in between Big Bear and Lake Arrowhead.
It was like 2 hours away.
Right. It was a very short drive, and we even kind of got together like a carpool situation so that we could,
our carpool.
Yes. Reduce our carbon emissions and, save some gas and make some friends along the way.
I was blown away by it. I had such great experience. I knew no one going into that retreat.
Yeah.
And then I met a lot of really good friends that I'm still friends with today.
Yeah.
Also was super affordable. Like afterwards, I was like,
good. I'm so glad.
Yeah, it was so affordable for all the food. Literally, the whole thing was catered with food. You and Naz cooked up everything: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, juice, everything.
That's right.
And
juice.
It was all gluten-free.
Yes, it was.
And that's what got me to basically go like 80-90% gluten-free after that.
Amazing.
Before that, I would eat all the gluten, and I didn't realize how delicious gluten-free food could be. So thank you, Naz, for that. I was just blown away.
Yay.
Now, all I eat is gluten-free noodles.
Wow.
I'm a Trader Joe's hoe.
Me
so
too.
I get the red lentil noodles.
Those are packed with protein, too. Vegan protein.
That's another good thing. This is a little health hack. If you're making pasta, always get either chickpea or red lentil or quinoa-based noodles.
Yeah.
They have so much more protein, nutrients, where the wheat noodles are just wheat and not really filled with much nutrition.
Exactly, especially like the wheat that we grow here in America. It's just very cheaply grown and quite devoid of nutrients. So it's really nice when you can get something like, I think it's the organic stuff, right? At Trader Joe's. Yes. And it's, I don't know how many servings, but it is really yummy. I like the lentil, my favorite, I think, probably.
It's my favorite.
You can cook the hell out of it.
I can't go back either. So, after eating the gluten-free noodles, I'm hooked on them. I love them. One time I ran out, and my roommate at the time, he had the gluten noodles with regular wheat.
Ah, yes.
And I was like, I'll just use it because it was all I had.
There's a pack lying around in everyone's kitchen. I understand.
And then I ate it and instantly regretted it. It just didn't taste good, and I felt bad.
What happens to you now that you're more used to eating like the gluten-free noodles? When you eat something like that, what happens to you? Do you feel like
so I don't have a gluten intolerance or like a really bad reaction. It just zaps my energy. I'm just like, eat it, and I'm like,
you want to take a nap, right?
Want to take a nap, get a little bloated, but after that, I'm fine.
Yeah.
That's
good.
I know
I'm glad
you kind of like
havoc.
swell up and.
Yeah, for me, that's kind of. So that's why we made the retreat gluten-free, because I eat gluten-free, and my sister, she found out that she has like major issues with gluten, and so I started wondering like, hey, is this also something that runs in the family? Maybe there's something to it. And so I just started dabbling in it as well, and then I started to notice a big change. And for me, it was like I had some back pain that I just thought was par for the course. I was a server, you figure your body's just kind of getting beat around, you're going to be in pain, which is valid. And then I cut out the gluten, and I'm like, oh, it's so weird. Like,
you just feel
all this
better.
mobility in my back. So I'm like, oh, okay, it's inflammatory. So, fast forward a couple years, and yeah, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you were able to enjoy gluten-free food that way, and that we were able to prepare it in such a yummy way. And people just don't realize there's all these great things that are naturally gluten-free.
So good.
So, yeah.
It completely opened my eyes. So I'm vegan. I always said I can never go vegan. Now I'm vegan. We'll never go back. And vegan food is fire. Same with gluten-free. Like, I was like, I'll never be gluten-free.
I know.
And I'm not 100% gluten-free, but I'm like 80%. When I go out to eat, that's mostly it.
Living it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you get used to it, you can start finding all these things. And Trader Joe, yeah, for sure, because they have everything.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that vegan wellness retreat was amazing. Created so many cool bonds with people that I still have today. We did hikes. We just ate the best food. We did yoga.
We did.
All kinds of fun stuff. So I hope there's going to be one soon.
Yes.
When there is, we'll promote the heck out of it. So y'all should definitely come. Food was amazing. People were great.
Thank you. Yeah, honestly, we have just been kind of trying to put the right situation together. What we want to do is get the word out. So if you guys are ever interested in something like that, even if you're not vegan, but you're just interested in trying some really yummy, clean, conscious food, and you want to go spend some time with some cool individuals, because like you said, like, we're all still friends afterwards. And there was even like, I won't say anybody's name, but two people like fell in love. Like, that's so cool, right? So, come find your soulmate at the next wellness retreat. No, I'm just kidding.
No guarantees.
No guarantees. Yeah, don't put that in writing. But it was great to meet you, and I love how brave you were, because some other folks knew each other, but you didn't, and there was a couple of newbies who didn't know each other, and you just brought your warmth, and it was really fun to then see you at all these other events. I'm like, oh, I know Lance, and everyone knows Lance. So everyone that I know is like, oh yeah, we love Lance. Like, Lance is in it.
Thank you.
So yeah,
love it.
Yeah, good people.
Awesome. So yeah, that retreat was amazing.
Yes, it was.
So what kind of got you into your health journey?
That's a great question, Lance. I'm like, that's a loaded question. So like I said, the gluten-free journey, kind of me I went vegan for the animals first, and then for my health, and then I started school with the intentions to graduate as a nurse, and then started being real with myself, and started kind of getting into the biology and all of the sciences, and then the reality of like maybe being a bit more squeamish than I realized, but still really wanting to help people from a kind of a medical position, but then realizing that the healthcare system and our food and everything is so hijacked in America. So it really just got me passionate about exploring things from the preventative measures. That's really where that started. My brother's like, I think the nursing thing doesn't quite sit with me right. I want to help, but what do I want to do? And my brother's like, well, you love telling people what to eat. So we're so close. I love it. He was spot on though, Yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, nutrition. That makes a lot of sense for me. I'm really passionate about it. And my university journey took me about 7 years to kind of figure out and complete, which, that it's never you're never too old to learn, and it's never the right time. You can't force it into 4 years. Definitely. Sometimes. But yeah, I never really stopped being passionate about nutrition. That's how I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And once I started figuring out, okay, maybe I do need to eat a gluten-free diet, I started having more energy. I started having less pain and less inflammation. And I was like, oh, seems like food is medicine. Okay, so maybe we don't need as much medicine as we seem to think. Let's try changing things in our diet and seeing what else kind of transpires from that. So I got into yoga. I got into other wellness things. I love hiking. We've gone on hikes before. just being passionate about moving your body and putting good things in and then getting good things out of it. So
Yes.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you went to school.
I did.
For nutrition.
I did. I went to Cal State. They have
Tell me more.
Great nutrition program.
Tell the people more.
All right, I have my bachelor's of science in nutrition and dietetics. So that's my official degree. I am getting everything together
and
now.
What exactly does that mean?
Exactly. What does that mean, right? So I'm a nutritionist plus. It takes a master's degree to be a registered dietitian in the state of California, which I plan on doing. But right now, with my bachelor's, I can practice as something called a diet tech. And so that is someone who practices right underneath a registered dietitian in many capacities. So that's where I'm at. Mm-hmm. But because of you learn so much about nutrition in your bachelor's anyways. Your master's program is more about like research and, the laws that go into nutrition and things like that, which is great information. But you learn so much in your bachelor's degree that you have the knowledge and the capacity to help people, as a nutritionist. And I say a nutritionist plus, because you got all this extra sciencey stuff, which is great. So 2 of my friends were referred to me as soon as I graduated. Such a blessing. And I've been able to help them in 2 like kind of completely different sides of the spectrum.
I love success stories.
We love a good success story.
Let's hear them.
Okay.
How'd you help your friends?
So someone that I met a while ago came to me and I was still finishing up school. And I was like, hey, just so you know, I'm not, I haven't completed my degree yet, but I do have a lot of knowledge. And I'm such a nutrition nerd anyway.
Nutrition nerd.
I really am. Like, that's my thing. Like, you're a Trader Joe ho. I'm a nutrition nerd. So I love just Googling or just, searching all these things that I find. So I have people in my life that have a lot of autoimmune issues, and we found the connection between gluten and autoimmune, and also animal products and autoimmune diseases. So that's something that I've also researched extensively on my own. So it worked out, actually. One of the people that got referred to me has an autoimmune issue, and she deals with ulcerative colitis, and that is something where your colons are irritated and are not able to absorb nutrients quite the right way. And then if you have too much fiber or not enough fiber, it can really irritate that. And so the balance there nutritionally is just to find these things that are super anti-inflammatory. And I'm sure you've heard of the Mediterranean diet as like kind of a beacon of health. And the reason that people lean towards that is because a Mediterranean diet is high in soluble fiber, which is good for ulcerative colitis, right? Because it's something your body can break down and use to just kind of keep you regular, we'll say. And then also high in omega-3s.
Okay.
You heard about omega-3s. And people say fish oil has omega-3s, right? But as vegans, we know that chia seeds and, avocado oil and algae, exactly, yes.
Is the Mediterranean diet, isn't that really popular in the blue zones? Are you familiar with the blue zones?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. What have you heard about?
Well, I watched that documentary. Like, it's where the blue zones is where all the people live to 100 or plus. It's
Yes.
There's actually one here in California, not far. It's
Isn't it?
Loma
Linda. Yeah. I researched that.
I know a lot of them eat like a lot of beans and fruits and veggies.
Yes.
And it's a very, very highly plant-based diet.
It is. Yeah. It is. It's not necessarily 100%, but it is a very anti-inflammatory just in general. It's going to be like your olives, like we were saying, and leafy greens and lots of beans, like legumes and things like that. Lots of chickpeas. We love chickpeas.
Oh.
So anyways,
hummus.
That's the whole idea. Yes. Oh, I make a mean hummus. But the whole idea behind that is, I guess, just to keep things uninflamed. And even the average person, if you don't have autoimmune issues, we have environmental toxins, and we have cheaply grown foods like our gluten, that just kind of cause irritations or foggy brain, even if you don't have celiac disease or, an intolerance to gluten. So
definitely.
Yeah. So
your friend.
That was that's it. I was like,
wow,
I always get so lost in my stories. Anyway, so all that to say, my friend wasn't on a fully plant-based diet, but kind of was aware of this information, and we were really able to narrow down the foods that she loved and incorporate that into a 95% plant-based diet. And she went back to the doctor and was basically told, like, hey, your tests have never looked this good. Whatever you're doing for your diet is amazing, so keep doing that. And so we're going to keep working together, but she's really learned so much.
Yes.
And it's just been a couple of months together, so we love the plants.
Yeah,
Yay
it's
for
crazy
that.
what a couple months of just a healthy diet and lifestyle can do to you.
Yes, yeah, and she started working out more and just kind of like having more energy and just
Yeah, the
feeling
better
really
you
good.
eat, the better you feel. You just want to go out and play.
It's a cycle, exactly. You start
You wanna
aging
go
backwards.
outside,
And yeah, you start climbing trees and
Awesome.
And then so one more success story was, this is something that I think comes up for vegans a lot. A friend of mine already was plant-based, but was struggling with her B12 and iron levels.
Okay.
And this, I believe, was something that was already happening before she was plant-based, but something that maybe was like she wasn't paying enough attention, and so it kicked in even more when she went plant-based. But as we know, lots of meat eaters can also be B12 and iron deficient as well. So what it really boils down to is the micronutrients, right? And that's the fun, nerdy side of nutrition where we're like,
Nutrition
okay. So my other friend was struggling with a B12 deficiency and low iron levels. And so what we're saying is that's really a micronutrient issue. So the plan for vegans is to find nutritional yeast or a supplement, right, for your B12. But even things like your healthy energy drinks and your, just anything you can find these days has a lot of B12 in it, because everyone these days needs to be aware of their B12 levels. So once we got that in check, we started to give her some vitamin C to go along with her deep leafy greens, which are contain high levels of iron. And so that's another cool nutrition thing, is that you learn that if you have vitamin C and iron together, they're able to be absorbed better. And so next time she got her tests, we saw that her iron levels and her B12 levels were well within the healthy range. So it takes a couple months, I think maybe 6 to 9 months of us kind of like being really rigorous about that, but we were able to change that right away. So it just all comes to your mindfulness, I think. I think everyone needs to, yeah.
Awesome. So that's two success stories
with
friends so
yes,
far.
Yeah.
And many more to come.
Exactly.
So if you want to create more success stories, what service or can you provide the people out there?
So if you guys or anyone you know needs any sort of nutrition advice, really, it can be something where it's just a meal plan, a monthly meal plan I can provide for you. Or if you want to get really intensive with it, we want to kind of deep dive into your family history, we can do full nutrition consultations. My professional Instagram is the Wellness Corner, spelled like the Thee, and then Wellness Corner. Or also my personal Instagram is Lauren Z Eats. Z as in my last name, Zepernick, and then eats. I eat a lot of yummy, delicious vegan food. So if you ever like looking at delicious vegan snacks, I have lots of pictures of those on there. But hit me up on either of those if you have any questions, and we can see where to go with that.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll link your stuff in the show notes.
Perfect. Appreciate it.
Is that what they call it? Show notes?
Show notes. Yes, it is now. It is now. Absolutely. I keep looking over at your water bottle. Can you share like maybe 1 or 2 stickers on there?
Here's one. Can we see?
Yeah.
That's Vegan Realty, baby.
Yeah, Vegan Realty.
Saving animals, selling homes. That's a really cool real estate company. I'm a little biased. I'm the co-founder.
The best.
And our big thing is we donate $1,000 to animal rescues every time we help someone buy or sell a house. But also got a couple other stickers. Defend animals. We got Until Every Cage is Empty. Fuck eating animals. And speciesism with the middle finger.
We love it.
So I guess we're going right into veganism now.
Yeah, sorry.
So what made you? No, I love it. I love it. What got you to go vegan? I know you said it was the animals.
Yes.
How'd you come across that? Because the industry does a really good job at hiding that.
Oh yes.
So how'd you make that connection?
So I feel blessed because growing up, my aunt was vegetarian. So I already had that kind of spark in my mind from a younger age. Once I could start kind of asking questions about that, I was, just asking her like why she felt that way. And she's a very sweet, sensitive person. So she was just kind of telling me like, it bothered her that animals had to die and for us to eat, and so she started showing me all these different cool things. She would make a bunch of things. She had a garden, she would make like all these fresh salsas and things, and then she grilled like barbecue tofu that was really good. But that's about all we had back then when this was when I was like maybe like 12 or 13, when the wheels are just starting to turn. And then I started to dabble in it. I think I wanted to be different, and I also was quite a sensitive kid too. So when I was about 14, there was a week when I didn't eat any meat, I think I just knew about vegetarianism back then, but that was pretty big for me. And, at home we didn't really eat that way. So that was a little more challenging. My mom had 5 kids to feed, and I was, like, I'm not going to eat this, and so I was just being difficult. Yep. But I would start to dabble in it. And then when I was 18, I would do that too. I would have like a week where I just wouldn't eat meat, and I just would be like, okay, cool, that was great. I wanted to try it. But I was, it comes and it would go, and then I stopped for a while. And then I was about, I think I was about 25 or 26. And I don't remember what it was specifically, but I had sorry to talk about it, but a turkey, like a leftover turkey sandwich from the holidays. And I took a bite, and unfortunately for everyone, it was a real, like, chewy, we'll just say. Yes. Chewy piece. I won't go into it too much. But anyway, so that was just enough for me to start thinking about, like, oh my God, like, what is it that I'm eating, that I'm chewing on that's doing this? And so it was just a real wake-up call. I started thinking about it more and more, and I was just like, I couldn't even finish the sandwich. I was like, nope, this is gross. So in my mind, I was like, let's try it for a week. I lived in LA at the time, and I'm like, it's
easiest place
easy.
To be vegan.
There was a vegetarian restaurant right around the corner from my house. Lenore's vegetarian restaurant. I want to shout her out because I feel like she's been around for a very long time, and I don't know. Anyways, she's awesome. So yeah. Anyways, so I tried a bunch of her stuff, and I was like, this is great. I can do this. Unfortunately, at the time, my partner wasn't super supportive, so it took me a while, and I didn't watch any documentaries. It just kind of hit me.
It just clicked.
Yeah, it just clicked. I was like, okay, this just doesn't feel right. I kind of want to do this. And then I just became really stubborn about it. I was like, fine. Nobody around me right now wants to try this. I'm just going to do this. And so slowly but surely, I think I cut out dairy next, and then eggs, and then honey. It was just kind of like a slower progression for me. It took about 2 years to get to veganism. My friend Trisha.
Yep.
Good activist friend. And
she's awesome.
She's
Shout
amazing.
out
Trisha, I love you. She really helped me make the transition a lot smoother. She was all about Veggie Grill. Shout out Veggie Grill for sure.
Yep.
That was so many people's transitional food. And I'm like, oh, I can eat fast food. And it's, and then I live right down the street from Veggie Grill. What was stopping me? So
Veggie Grill's so good.
Veggie Grill's amazing. I love all our vegan spots. Oh gosh. Sorry. But yeah, what was your first vegan meal? Like, was it at a Veggie Grill or something like that?
There's a couple vegan restaurants in St. Louis.
Oh,
I think my first one was Lulu's in St. Louis. They ended up closing down, but they were super good.
R.I.P. Lulu's.
Yeah, they had the best tater tots ever.
Ooh, yeah.
They were like perfectly crispy, and they had like Cajun season. I'm a sucker for some tater tots.
Delicious. Amazing. Okay, so that's right. You're out.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
But yeah, I made the connection through the environmental lens. So I watched the documentary Cowspiracy.
Yes.
Have you seen that one yet?
I have seen that now, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I always grew up like animal lover. We had tons of animals in our house, and an environmentalist. So once I watched Cowspiracy, that just kind of blew my mind how like basically animal agriculture is the worst industry for the environment. Yeah. And there was some stat where 1 pound of beef takes like 1,200 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of beef. Yeah. Something along those lines.
Something insane.
Yeah. And I was like, what? For 1 pound or one burger?
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Right.
So then I gave up beef. then I just started digging more and more and looking into it. And then I came across the slaughterhouse footage and the factory farm footage. And when I saw that, it is a million times worse than you could ever imagine. And it just broke my soul. And I was like, no more. And then lastly, I learned about the health aspect.
Okay.
And I was like, hold on, it's healthy to eat a plant-based diet?
Yeah, that's right.
You could prevent and reverse certain diseases on a plant-based diet.
That's right.
And it just like 3 of my passions were like the environment, animals, and health. And it was just, that was the trifecta. One diet could do it all.
Didn't do it all, yeah.
It was a no-brainer.
Yep.
That's how I came across it.
That's beautiful.
I do have a question for you that has always puzzled me. Hope you might know the answer.
Let's see,
being from a nutritionist standpoint.
I hope.
So when I first went vegan and still today, there's like, I feel like veganism or plant-based diets, one of the only diets where when you tell someone that, half the population thinks you're the healthiest person in the world, and then the other half of the population thinks you're the unhealthiest, weakest person in the world, and you're going to crumble. Why is there such a disparity with that?
Question. That's a great question. I think that to start on the first, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it's probably because a lot of propaganda.
Yeah.
You know.
To the latter point, absolutely propaganda that meat equals muscles. And like the B12 thing, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you're going to fall over, you're this frail vegan. But as we know from Nimai Delgado and all of his friends, all those like really beefy guys. I say beefy. And Lance, of course.
I'm lean fit.
Yes. No, Lance, you look great, honestly. All the vegan muscle, right? Yeah. So, hey, and I'm getting up there too. I've been going to the gym, you know? So, Lauren and Lance with the fucking swell. Excuse my French. I went how long without it?
You can cuss on us.
Okay, good. Okay, I didn't know where we're at with that. You know, just no, I'm just kidding. No, I think my parents thought that for a while too. Like, and people get legitimately concerned. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wait, but it's been 7+ years. No, coming up on 8+ years now with no meat, and I'm not falling over. You know, it's amazing. And I get my blood work done, and the blood work doesn't lie. Mm-hmm. You know, you're so in the healthy range with everything. But like we said, you know, you got to be careful sometimes with your B12. You want to make sure. But so I think it's that. I think it's that, like, you know, people are going to fall over thing because of that. And then I also think it's, the word vegan. Everyone thinks that's healthy, but there's still vegan cake.
Yep.
And pie.
Oreos.
And deep fried Oreos. Yeah, well, there's lots of accidentally vegan junk foods. So those are the two common misconceptions, and I think most vegans live somewhere in the middle. You know, we go to the vegan like street fair and all of the, you know, Vegan Dale and all these places, and we get all the goodies, but day to day, you know, we're not gonna. And that's the argument about like, Impossible Burger has so many ingredients. But are you going to eat ground beef the same way every single day? And if you do, look at your blood work. It's not going to, you know, it's not going to give you the results you want. And sorry to say, but so preservatives, we want to be mindful of that, and we want to be mindful of additives. But to me, like, cholesterol is like the number one thing we're concerned with these days. You know, people just, their cholesterol numbers are way too high. So
definitely.
Fiber, plants, you know, the math is mathing.
Definitely, yeah. There is that big argument, and one, the beyond is there's no cruelty involved. Exactly. So there's no animal has to die. Exactly. Two, a lot of people say, beef has one ingredient, but no, they don't include all the hormones, all the antibiotics. They even pump it with like all kinds of preservatives and stuff too. Yeah. And they don't have to list all that. No. So it actually has multiple ingredients.
Way more ingredients. Yes. And shout out Beyond, because they just switched to avocado oil in their products, which is amazing. Nice. And they're using pea protein. So if anybody has a soy allergy or a gluten allergy, that's a really great transitional product. And they're shortening their list. Yes. The ingredient list is getting way shorter, and it's like apple cider vinegar and, you know. So comparatively, I'll have Beyond. You know, sometimes that's a great something to have on the go.
Very rarely I'll have it. But as a transitional going from non-vegan to vegan, I ate all the meat alternatives, all the processed stuff.
You have to.
Yes.
You got to try it.
And now I do tend to lean, my diet's like 80-20, where 80% is organic, whole food, plant-based, like real ingredients. And then 20% I'll eat the junk food, the processed food, the Beyond Burgers when I go out to eat. You know, gotta live a little balance.
That is a great ratio.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think any one person, and I've met people who are very strict on their diet, they either and I've been that person too, you kind of go insane. And then you have these crazy veg out moments where you bought half of Whole Foods and, you know, you're on your couch like in a food coma. So that's just not realistic. We as humans deserve to spoil ourselves. We deserve to indulge. And it's the common thing, you know, as vegans, like, oh, there's a salad on the menu. That's the vegan option. Okay, well, I'm sick of eating salads. I want a donut, and I want Thai food, and I want boba, and I'm going to get it. And then I'm going to go back, like you said, like 80-20. That's a really healthy ratio, you know, even if it was a little different.
That's
you know,
what
variant.
I shoot for. Some days or weeks it's, you know, 60-40, 70-30, but
you show up every day
definitely.
And you're eating plants every day, and that's what counts.
Yes.
And that's amazing, and your body will thank you. So.
Definitely. And I think, you know, 70-30, 80-20 is a good ratio because it's just enough to where you could satisfy those cravings and eat the junk food.
Yes.
But then it's not going to completely derail you. And also, I do, when I eat it, all the dopamine and all those things are firing. But then afterwards, I'm like, damn, why'd I eat that? So it's like a reminder to why I eat the good food.
That's the best point. I'm looking at the camera. Yes. Okay, that's the best point is that you have these reminders.
Yes.
Same. Okay, so I'll even have like something super clean, right? Like alkaline food. But if it's fried and I have too much of it, my body's like, hey, like, clean oil or not, that's a lot. We need to slow down. Yep. So you wake up the next day and you're like, you know what? I want to go to the gym, I want to eat a salad, and I want to drink a lot of water. So it's a great reminder. You have to splurge. You have to indulge. And yeah, especially if you don't drink alcohol and things like that, you gotta have those moments. So, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost time to wrap up.
Okay.
Right before we get to our joke off.
Okay.
Do you have a couple just simple health tips for people that they could implement, and it's just very simple health habits or tips or anything like that? For instance, one of my biggest health tips is switch from wheat pasta to gluten-free pasta. It's such a simple switch, and you know, if you do that, it just compounds over the days and weeks and months, and you just feel great.
Absolutely. That's great. That's a great like little health hack, honestly. That one's a good one.
Put you on the spot.
I know. I'm like, I've got all these things in my mind, like all these things that I say and do. And so for me, lately, something that's been really helpful and really just kind of pointing me in the right direction is I get up in the morning and I'll snuggle my dog. You know, we end up going on a walk every morning. He's very spoiled at this point and expects it before 9 a.m. So, you know, we're on a good schedule. But that's been really helpful for me. And even if I put music on my phone, I won't get on my phone.
Yep.
I don't allow myself to be on my phone for the first hour at least.
It's just like a mindfulness walk.
It is. And it's causing me to slow down and be present. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I'm flooded with all these thoughts of either what I've got to do, things that are stressing me out, something that's been on my heart, whatever it is. And if you go straight on your phone and you look at something depressing, it can just really rocket your day in a not amazing way. So for me lately, you know, with all in the world that's been going on, I've been just really trying to be mindful about my mornings.
Definitely. So mindful mornings. Don't wake up first thing, get on your phone.
Scrolling and
go for a nice walk.
Yeah,
get some fresh air, some sunlight.
That's what I was going to say. Sunlight, the vitamin D, we're so blessed here in California that even if it's chilly in the mornings, I can kind of like put my sweater off my shoulders and at least get a little sunshine on my face and my chest before the rays are too harmful.
It's so funny how we're like, I'm so SoCal now.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, it's 60 degrees. It's chilly. When I was in St. Louis, Missouri, I'd be like, are you kidding me?
Everyone in Ohio, in Missouri is like, Shut up.
Our winters get, below freezing.
Yes.
And now we're like 50s.
I can't. Oh my gosh.
But I'm one of those people now.
Yes,
I
I'm a
adapted.
sunshine baby.
Yes.
These are literal sunstones in here. Shout out Slices of Citrus, by the way. These are biodegradable edible resin earrings. Wow. So she's adorable anyways. But yes, I'm a sunshine baby. We are spoiled. I still have my Ohio area code, but I am a California girl.
Same.
So yeah, but I think that's it. Yeah, sunshine and mindful mornings, and then drink a lot of water in the morning when you wake up.
Stay hydrated.
Help your body flush out all that stuff that you. Excuse me, my eye's been bothering me all day, but I'm just winking at you. But yeah, stay hydrated, and that's really important in the morning. So yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna go to wrap it up. We're gonna go to the joke off section or segment. So I'm super corny. I love dad jokes. So do you want to start off with your joke?
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
So Halloween was last weekend. So in the theme of Halloween and of me being in real estate, it's kind of a real estate Halloween joke.
All right, I'm ready. Wait, let me get ready.
All right.
Okay.
How come the skeletons did not fight over the property?
How come the skeletons did not fight over the property? Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, I give up.
Because they didn't have the guts to negotiate. So corny, but I love it.
Hey, no, I like that. That's a good one. That reminds me, when I usually go home for the holidays, my mom is so cute. She's into like really old school traditions.
Yeah.
So we open up these like little Christmas cracker things, and they have these like terrible jokes in them. They're so bad, but you have to laugh. That one would have been funny actually, because some of these ones are really rough. All right.
Yep.
Joke
you remember it?
I had to write it down, you guys. I didn't want to mess it up. All right, as you know, I'm a nutritionist. I went to school and I found out that I had to learn a lot of science, a lot of chemistry. I didn't realize I was signing up for that. But it's okay. We adapt, right? So now I'm a nutrition science nerd. Anyways, all that to let you know. This is a science joke. So, I'm so glad I was able to,
Redo.
Can't read my own handwriting. Okay, I got it. All right. Take two. This is a science joke, you guys. That was the punchline. I win. Okay. All right. Stop laughing.
Can't even get the joke off.
All right. So, I'm so glad I was able to convince my daughter not to date this guy named Kelvin. He's such a zero. Damn it, I have to explain that joke now. Do you know what that means?
Explain it.
Never mind. I did not win the joke off. All right, so in science, there's the Fahrenheit scale, right? You measure temperature in Fahrenheit. Also, if you're not American and you're anywhere else in the world, they measure it in Celsius, right? Mm-hmm. The last one that nerds measure temperature in is the Kelvin scale. Have you heard of absolute zero?
Absolute zero.
Oh, gosh. All right. Can I get another joke?
You can't. This is appealing to the wide
someone
mass.
out there is going to laugh at that joke.
Yeah. Some science nerds that watch The Big Bang Theory will love that joke.
Sheldon would love that joke.
Yes. I do love The Big Bang Theory.
Do you know that they actually tell like science facts on that show?
Yes.
I really like that show because of that.
Didn't it take place in San Bernardino or no?
Pasadena.
Pasadena, okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. Good old Pasadena.
All right. Well, I think I won that joke off, but we'll see what you all think of it.
True.
I feel like if you have to explain the joke,
that's true.
Not,
That's true. I saw your face and I was like, can I pick another joke?
If you have another one handy, I'll give you one more shot.
Okay, let's see. Dang it, it's on my phone.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard
on my
to.
phone. I'm trying to think of one of the corny ones from Christmas with my mom, but that's okay. That's okay, Lance. I succeed
it's
to
all
you.
Good. It's
You're
all
the
good.
joke king. And
all right. Well, this was a super fun podcast. I'll put all her links in the show notes.
Thank you.
And go follow her. And we're gonna end the podcast
All right.
with a little dance off.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Now, he won the joke, but do I get to win the dance?
All right, I think that's a wrap. We crushed it.
All right. Nice job.
Boom.
Woo!